What's going on, Internet? Welcome to a special Nerd Locker podcast episode during the coronavirus lockdown. I'm Brandon,
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Chase.
and just like anybody listening to this, as long as it is a current episode, we are sitting in our houses, which is where we've been for the last almost a month here due to the coronavirus.
Kill me now.
How's everybody doing?
Day whatever.
I honestly, I don't know, man. I was thinking about like keeping track of everything. I was thinking about like filming, but I'm just like, I want this to be over sooner than later. And I feel like if I film something, it's committing to this lasting longer than they're saying. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep acting like this will be over in a week.
Have you guys noticed that the videos on the online are getting weirder and weirder? I'm kind
Dude,
of enjoying it.
one of my least favorite parts about this is everyone downloading a TikTok and thinking they're really, really funny or interesting, and I'm just like, you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
No, I tried to do TikTok. Like I knew of it and I checked in, but I'm like, okay, well, I need something to keep me entertained here. Let's go.
I
And I went over and I'm like, this is horrible.
Oh, I hate it. I hate all of it.
This is a sincere question. What is TikTok exactly? Like, what is its purpose?
Do you remember Vine?
Yeah.
So like imagine if Vine was out today, basically.
Okay, but why is it so? Doesn't it seem like it's much more music generated?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like people do the same videos of the same things, and that's part of it. Is they're like, well, I'm gonna do like this person doing this, and it's a lot of voiceovers. I don't know, but there's a lot of my friends who have downloaded it and started posting videos, and they're not interesting or funny. And I'm sorry to tell you this here, but
You know, say
they
what
don't
you
listen to it. That's fine.
say what you will about Vine. I felt like it was a lot more creative.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think right now everybody's got it, and they're just like, look at how funny I am, and I'm not laughing. So
Maybe they're just
that's
going
where I'm
insane.
at. Have you guys been? Have you guys been staying busy?
Uh,
I got two kids and I'll be honest. I was at first not excited with the coronavirus, obviously, but excited to, okay, cool. I can work from home. This will be nice. Dude, I'm not getting anything done. They are so like I'm a elementary school and a middle school teacher now. I chose to avoid science and math for a reason, and both my kids like science and math. So I'm like, what
Oh,
the
figures.
hell? I had to watch videos for fifth grade math. I'm not joking. I'm like, I don't know. Sorry, little girl. Is your teacher available somewhere, please? Yeah, it's a nightmare going back to school.
so are they having to like still like turn in homework and shit?
Oh yeah,
And you're
yeah.
Oh my god, I would be 100% looking at my parents like, you could just do it for me.
If this
But
isn't a
I also
commercial for condoms, I don't know what is.
This is why I also didn't do very well at school because I was like looking to like
Cheat?
not yeah, basically I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to hang
Yeah.
out.
Well, my kids have definitely taken your route. And Chase, it's funny. I've seen so many people be like, "Oh, there's going to be a baby boom after it." I'm like, "Well, maybe if you don't have kids, you'll not know, and you'll just, yeah. But if you have kids, hell no." Be like, "We're done. We're
You're
done."
yelling 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, needless to say, like this is a very interesting time. It's not anything we've all ever gone through, and I think the only part that is weirder is the fact that like the powers that be also are not really sure what's happening. So it's just making this like a whole ball of confusion, and I don't know. It's interesting, but
I
I even
genuinely, I genuinely think they're more prepared for a space invasion than this. which is
I mean,
ridiculous.
this throws everything into question to me. Like, I don't know what we're ready for at this point. Like, better rev up some shit here, because this is it's weird. But anyways, we're here to not talk about that. We're going to talk about what we're doing to pass the time, what we've been doing since this has happened. Because I will say, the positive side to this is that stack of comics, those stack of trades, and list of movies I've been needing to get through are suddenly at my disposal literally 24/7. So what's some stuff everyone's been knocking off their list?
I just finished last night the Watchmen series. Finally, I loved that show. It was so good.
That was a very good show.
Episode 2 is pretty good, so that's as far as I made it.
Oh man, it I really dug it, and I kind of like it even more that they said it's just a one-off, like they're not doing a second season as far as anyone's concerned. So I like that it was just like a storyous, or they just wanted to do a story that would tell what's happening today in that universe, and then moving on.
I'd be okay with another with different characters.
I
Just
mean,
another anthology.
now that does Silk Spectre say what happens to Night Owl? Is he dead at that point? I mean, he's like the only person that would still be around that they didn't really cover.
I know that in the end, Ozymandias had the what's the what is the name of the ship that he flew?
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
Archie.
Yeah. So I guess that means something. But
Yeah,
um, I did like how it went directly from the comic. Because one of my biggest gripes with the movie was that they didn't go with the giant squid ending. So I like that it was a
So
comic
stupid.
sequel, and I honestly really enjoyed it. Like finding out who Hooded Justice was, having a strong connection to all that. Like I really thought that was a great series.
the nostalgia episode I thought was brilliant.
Oh, that was so good. That was such a good episode. Um, sorry you didn't watch it, Jim. But
No, I enjoyed it. It's more of again, got to get the kids in bed, and by
Yeah,
that time, old man's tired. But I really enjoyed what I've seen so far. I will say though, watching it, knowing the movie, and yes, I'm the loser that very much enjoyed the movie and did not like the squid in the comic book. But watching it, I'm like, okay, where is this taking place in this universe? And when you kind of, for me, once I kind of let go of the comic book and the movie and just like, okay, this is its own thing, totally understood it more. But I was trying to connect it and be like, I haven't read or seen those things in a long time. I can't remember these things happening. What's going on? But once I freed myself from that stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. It's sort of the same universe, but not the same characters I necessarily knew. So stop looking for them. They'll be there if they're there, what have you. It made way more sense once I let go.
yeah. I've never read the comics. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So you don't really need to connect them. I'm sure it makes it a more enriching experience if you know the comics, but I still really enjoyed it.
yeah, I mean they just kind of answer some questions that were still like hanging over the book, and just it was cool just kind of seeing where everybody's at and just the different things that happened. But yeah, I dug that series. But Jim, how about you? Being that you're part teacher, part parent, part everything else going on. What are you doing when you do have the time?
Well, apart from what I just said about the kids, as an old man, sometimes you just wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And you're like, God damn it, I'm awake. So last night I watched Bloodshot, and I was telling Chase about it, and I really like Valiant Entertainment. One of my told you this a million times, Brandon. One of my favorite comics back in the day was Quantum and Woody. It was just hilarious and entertaining. So when they brought it back in the 2000s, I was like, oh, so awesome. Let's check this out, see what they're doing. And to get them a movie, I was super excited. I'm not super in tune with Bloodshot, but cool. Let's see what we do. And I had started to tell Chase, I am a Vin Diesel fan. He, when he did Pitch Black, that was such an underrated movie when it
Pitch
came
Black is
out.
really good.
oh, it was so good. And obviously, he was the key. Now, granted, he's then done that character in almost every movie he does. And I'm like, that's fine, cool, I love it, I'll do it. So I watched it last night, and I hadn't really paid attention to it. And obviously, it's come out in this horrible time where movie theaters now closed and that sort of thing. But it gives us the opportunity to watch those new releases at home. I didn't realize Guy Pearce was in it, and I love that dude. He is so good, and it really just lends a level of acting and gravitas that, again, I like Vin Diesel, but he just doesn't have that. So I was like very surprised, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he's the black guy in The New Girl. Um,
Mm.
and he was in the Kurt Russell Santa Claus movie as one of the cops. And I'm like, oh, I love this guy. That's great. And he has a pretty big role in it. So the cast is really good. There are a lot of just sort of cliche action things that go on, but they sort of play on that, like what an action film is supposed to be, and they go along this path. And I was just sitting there going, oh my god, they totally fell into the conventional, just okay, here's what the beats have to be for an action movie, and they're sort of rushing along, and I'm like, oh, God. And then they just turn it on a dime, and you're like, oh, they did that on purpose to play with my emotions. Okay, okay, I get it, cool. And they really took the time to do what they needed to do to tell a good story. That being said, it's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not the best comic book movie I've ever seen, but it was definitely worth a watch. So I highly recommend people check it out. The effects were good, sound was good, story was good, the acting was good. It was definitely worth a watch.
Sounds like they didn't try to rely too much on Vin Diesel then, which is a good thing.
No, they went definitely more with the character. And again, I'm not the biggest Bloodshot fan, so I don't know how true to the comic it was. It didn't feel, from what I know, I've read a couple of his books, but it didn't feel like it was the exact translation, which is good because when they do that in movies, you don't necessarily get a good movie versus what the comic book is. But I felt like it was true to the character, and no, it wasn't. Oh, I mean, clearly it's Vin Diesel, but it's not all on his shoulders to carry the movie. And at the same time, I'll be honest with you guys, go watch this, spend your money, get it going, because I want Quantum and Woody the movie.
I think a Quantum and Woody movie would be great. Bloodshot is like on my radar, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm only gonna get to it if the quarantine lasts like another month. like, um, I don't know, man. It kind of looks hokey, but hearing you talk about it gives me a little more interest than I had.
And that's where I hesitate because I know my expectations were low given what a lot of the other people, reviewers, were saying. And I don't know how many are nerds like us where they actually know the comic book. So when I watched it, I'm like, okay, this is way better than I thought it would be. But now that I've sort of given it a positive spin, I don't want y'all to be like, oh, this sucks because Jim said it was amazing. And I'm like, no,
Well,
it's
my
not
You know what?
amazing.
expectations are still very low, but
Actually, you
Okay.
know what? I might see it just so I could say I watched this and it sucked, and Jim said it was amazing. Like now, that may be more motivation to go check it out.
you just want to yell at Jimmy for something.
Well, hey, okay, here's the deal. As long as Valiant gets the money at the end of the day, it's an amazing movie. Everybody go see it. I'll be shocked if this isn't up for several Academy Awards. I mean, Suicide Squad has an Academy Award, so this will
Ugh.
be multi. So do it
Multi.
now.
Do you
And
think?
it's funny, Brandon, going back, I don't know why I saw this on Nerd Locker a long time ago, maybe 2015 when we were still filming. The Russo brothers announced they were doing a Quantum and Woody TV show. And I was like, I totally forgot
I
about that.
remember that.
Yeah, obviously it hasn't happened, but
Oh
yeah,
man. You know what's cool though is that Quantum and Woody are on their radar in some aspect. Like you never
yeah.
know, man. I mean, they're gonna have free time in the future, and who fucking knows?
That'd be hilarious if it turned into like what was it, a Doctor Horrible,
Oh yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
That was the
If something came out like that, that'd be hilarious.
yeah.
Anywho, what are you up to, Brandon? What are you watching?
I have been actually it's kind of I started this before the quarantine, but it has now given me time to get through it much quicker than I was. But I decided to do a rewatch of Star Wars from episode one with all of this animated series, anything they have that's canon, like as far as like television or movies go, I'm watching in order. And I just finished Empire. I'm about halfway through Return of the Jedi, but I finished Clone Wars. Well, all that was available because the final season's coming out right now. But I finished Rebels. Um, after Return of the Jedi, I go back to the Mandalorian, which I haven't rewatched yet, so I'm excited for that. Um, and then
Interesting.
I did watch some stuff that was on HBO for horror movies that I missed. I watched La Llorona, which wasn't great. I mean, it was good. I don't know. It wasn't absolutely like terrible or anything. It just was kind of I didn't really jump or get scared. I don't know. It was meh. It was a meh horror movie to me. I watched Annabelle Comes Home, which also felt kind of meh. It was I don't know. It was like, look at all the spooky stuff in the Warren house. This was what would happen if it got out, but then it doesn't really get out. I don't know. That one was okay. I'm excited for Invisible Man. That's on my radar. That's probably gonna be one of the next one. I've heard great things about that, and I'm playing through some video games. So that's basically. Oh, and I've caught up on all of my single issue comics. I'm now going through my trades, which is nice because I had a big giant stack of trades, and I'm hoping to get through most of them. But yeah,
That's where I got a little frustrated the other day because I'm catching up on the new relaunch, whatever you want to call it, X-Men,
oh,
and
it's
I'm
so
like,
good.
it is so good, and I'm getting to the end of each one, and I'm like, okay, cool, Marauders, awesome, banged it out, nice, X-Men, cool, X Factor, awesome, X Force, cool, and I the last one I have to read is Nightcrawler, and I'm like, oh shit, they're done for now. Like I have to wait for
Yeah,
however long this stupid thing is, and I don't have any new stories. And the worst one was Wolverine because it all the others kind of had finished a story or were just getting it, but Wolverine was like this was their second issue, and
second
now
issue of Wolverine and the first issue of Hellions came out, which was really really good. And I'm like, I
and I'm
want
just
more
like,
of this.
what the
And
hell? I want to know what the next part is. Yeah, that
yeah,
was not
I,
good.
I am happy though that the companies are not releasing new books while the stores
Hmm.
can't get them. That's like
Yeah,
really really important to me. So I'm glad that they're not just being like, well, we'll just go digital because that could easily just kill stores. So I'm
yeah,
very happy that they're still considering stores a essential part of their business.
yeah. I completely agree. And there's a lot of companies out there that are trying to figure out a way to incorporate still keeping the stores afloat while this is going on. So, giving a percentage of sales or whatever to like
Yeah,
digital stores, giving a percentage of local stores and all that stuff. It's nice to see that community sort of circle the wagons and try and fight this thing.
yeah, absolutely. Like that was it bums me out. I think that was the thing that I was finally like things are different was
Hmm.
not being able to pick up my comics because that's something I have done almost every Wednesday since I was in high school.
Yeah.
So last week when I like Wednesday rolled around and I was like, nothing, huh? Like,
What do I do now?
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's cool that I'm getting time to read a lot of the ones that have been building up, but I'm like, shit. Like, I want more. I want volume two. I want the next issue.
Yeah, and that's I mean I read some digital now because again I'm an old man and I don't want to store a whole bunch of stuff and let's be honest learning being a comic book nerd in the 90s you learn real quick yeah most books are not going to be collectible so don't worry about it but I really loved going in and I give a shout out to our comic book Maximum Comics and my dude Chaz just going in seeing him talking and I am Chaz I hope you feel the same way. I hope it's not a situation where I'm just enjoying it and you're like, God, I wish this guy would leave. Like just having those conversations, you can't do that digitally. You have to go in the
Brandon, he's
store.
on to us.
What's up?
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Quarantine just got a lot harder.
Honestly, too, if anyone is listening, and whether you're local or not, Maximum Comics does have a eBay page
Hmm.
where they're selling, and not as much. recently, but they like recent trades and stuff. But they do have comic collections and comic trades, and I'm saying like if a trade came out in the last month, it might not be on there, but they do have a lot of stuff on their eBay. If you go to Maximum Comics on Facebook, they have a bunch of different links, so you can always check that out if you're looking for something to read and looking to support small businesses and rather order from them instead of Amazon. So just a
And go
quick
visit their
little shout.
Facebook page because Jay is, doing read along stuff. Well, not read along, but he's reading to us and really trying to entertain people in this horrible time.
Yeah, he's doing great with that. Like he's reading a story every day for like the kids, and
Mhm.
then he's actually done a few live event like live streams where he's like actually auctioning, well not auctioning, but like if you want this statue, email us. If you want this, like, so yeah, just a way to support, even if you don't plan on buying anything, just watching the videos always helps them too.
Yeah,
So
and this it's go back to Mister Rogers and saying look for the heroes and the volunteers and all that stuff. Jay is doing just fun, goofy, awesome, entertaining stuff to get your mind off of just being in a not fun place. And this is where Jay shines. He's such an awesome dude,
yeah,
and
Jay's literally one of the best people I know.
he really is, and I really I go buy gift cards and stuff, and make sure that we all say, "Hey, thanks, Jay."
Yeah, he's doing a lot right now, and like I said, if you feel like you're reading something new, just go to their Facebook, check out their eBay page. They have a lot of stuff. I'm gonna order some stuff here this week just because I'm like, you know what? I don't think I've read the Kree Scroll War in a while, so I'll pick that trade up and I'll be fresh for Empire when everything comes back to normal here.
Exactly.
What else is on everybody's list? Is there anything you like are planning to watch, read, do anything?
Hmm. Uh, I need to finish Hunters. I started that. I thought it was pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, that's out on Amazon, huh?
Yeah.
The Al Pacino Nazi show or Nazi Hunter show.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far.
I really like
Uh,
that concept, and I was floored that it's sort of based on history. I'm like, I was a history major, and to learn that, yeah, no, the United States government brought over a bunch of Nazi scientists, and I'm like, what? They didn't teach that in history class. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
tried to keep that one on the down low.
Yeah, what else are they lying about?
I
Coronavirus.
started rewatching Stranger Things. Can't get enough of that show, if I'm being
Oh, that's
honest.
awesome.
Uh, what else?
I feel like if there's anyone who hasn't missed a show or TV or movie, it's you. So you're like, well, I'll just rewatch it.
I just got an email from there's a company called IFC Midnight. They do a lot of like horror movies and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It used to be Skinamax. Cool, cool, cool.
Uh huh.
They
Attack with a 50-foot dong and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, good for you, Chase.
yeah.
not
Proud
not
of you, dude.
not quite, not quite.
Proud of you, dude.
You fucking assholes.
Wait
Uh,
till your mom goes to bed, though, right? Please.
it was an email and it had a list of a bunch of movies that they're offering to send me links for. So I'm trying to get one for this horror movie I've been looking forward to called The Wretched. So if you go to
Ooh.
YouTube and look that up, it looks pretty good.
Our PR requests are very different, Chase. I got one for SpongeBob Bikini Bottom.
Oh,
Uh,
I'd watch that. What the hell?
so, Chase, I'm jealous. I clearly have cornered the Uber kid market.
That's okay. You're a parent. That makes sense.
Well, there's nothing wrong. I love myself some SpongeBob, but I would like to see some horror films too here and there.
So I'm waiting for that link. I just barely emailed them like an hour ago, so hopefully that'll get here soon. I just rewatched the Blade Runner movies. Shut up, Jimmy. Um,
Do they get any more entertaining, or were they
fuck
still
you.
snooze fest where you fall asleep?
They were very good.
I will say a lot of that stems
I'm
from
so surprised you don't like those movies.
I will say a lot of that stems from Rainbolt. He just loves, like just absolutely adores, loves Blade Runner. So I give him a lot of crap on it. They're fine.
Oh, it's like when I got in trouble for talking shit about Cleveland, and my fiance didn't know that I'm just so used to talking shit about Cleveland to you that I actually don't hold any ill will against it.
exactly.
She was like, "We should go to Cleveland," and I was like, "That shithole?" And she's like, "Why is it a shithole?" And I'm like, "I actually don't know. It's just what I say to Jim and Patrick all the time."
It's just a gut reaction at this point.
See,
Yeah,
that's where I
legitimately.
have to give a shout out to all my Canadian brothers and sisters out there that realize Cleveland is amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Brandon's like Manchurian Candidate when he hears
Oh, she
Cleveland. He just
she's
fuck
never
that
been.
place.
She was just like, "We should go to a new place," and she was like, "Cleveland," and I was like, "Why the fuck would we go to Cleveland?"
Now, on this one point, I will say we're opposites because I'm sitting here going, why the fuck would you go to Cleveland? But that's my home. So I'm just like, yeah,
Actually, when we were in Nashville right before all this stuff hit, we drove by it. It was near Johnny Cash's grave, but there was a Culver's. Isn't that that burger place you like,
no.
Jim? What's the name of the burger place that you always say in Cleveland?
Swenson's?
Yeah, I thought you said it was like Culver's or something. Okay, well then I'm glad I didn't waste my time at some shitty burger place.
I would have loved if this story ended with, oh, I had this Culver's burger. Jim, you're insane. I'm like, what the hell's Culver's?
Yeah, I got food poisoning and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. And you were like, yeah, no shit, it sucked. I don't know
You,
what it is.
you've been pissed at Jimmy for no reason for the past couple of weeks. Like just
Oh no,
Oh,
because if it sucked, I would have called him and told him, and he'd been like, "Why are you telling me about a bad burger you had?"
yeah. It's like, good on you. That's okay. I don't want to talk quarantine stuff, but this is my dad who's in his 60s, decided to leave the house in Cleveland and drive to Columbus, which is about a 2.5 hour drive, to go get White Castle. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I understand going on a drive, getting out of the house, that's safe. But you went to White Castle for that crap? Oh my God. Yep. He got like 10 burgers. Loved it. Bragging
Yeah, I
about
tried
it.
to get White Castle in Nashville, and everyone told me they hate it, and I was like, "Well, you guys have bad taste."
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I'm
Jimmy.
the only dude from Ohio that loves it or doesn't like it. It's horrible.
Jimmy, you were telling me about how your dad snuck out of the house to go to Home Depot, and then he was denying it.
Yes. I love my dad. Dad, I know you don't listen to this because you don't understand technology, but dear God, stay in the
That's
house,
I mean, hold
please.
on. So like, he's the child now lying to you.
Yes.
No, I
Anyway,
didn't. I didn't go out.
so I still have a lot of friends back in Ohio, and one of them just hit me up on
You're like,
Facebook. Like,
"Where were you?" And he's like, "I was at home."
I saw your dad at Home Depot. I love talking to your dad, but why isn't he in quarantine? I'm like, okay. Turn right around, text my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, what was so important at Home Depot? I didn't go to Home Depot. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you
Did you
liar.
break
That
into my liquor cabinet?
that is fucking hilarious.
And the best part is then, so this person on Facebook, I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they did, maybe they confused him. I don't know. But then my sister goes, "Oh yeah, Dad was talking about he had to go to Home Depot to finish up a project." I'm like, "You're a liar, Dad."
That's
Oh
fucking
yeah,
hilarious.
uh,
unbelievable.
so what else?
Well, Chase, we were
Well,
talking about Chappelle. We saw his most recent special on Netflix with him winning the Mark Twain Award. That was pretty cool.
That was very good.
It's
I,
uh, it's Dave Chappelle, but it's also a lot of the softer, more heartfelt stuff where he really talks about, I mean, not just him, but the way they present it is his art and why he feels it's so important, and kind of gets to how we're all feeling right now is no, you need the art, you have to have that, and don't let people tell you what to do with it.
Speaking of stand up, you watched it, right? The Mark Twain thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and you heard Neil Brennan speak.
yeah.
Have you ever watched his stand up special?
I'll be honest. I told you this before. I wasn't a Dave Chappelle show guy, so I really wasn't aware of anything. But when he was talking about some of that stuff, I was like, I'm gonna have to go look him up. This is some funny shit.
Yeah, he has a special on Netflix called Three Mics. It's really good.
I will be looking into it because I mean, I was really impressed with his delivery. And I know this sounds stupid, but I watch a lot of stand up comedians like you were talking about, Chase. Just his delivery is sort of dry, and you almost at times miss the joke because he doesn't like. rim shot, it's just like, oh my god, that was funny. That's awesome. I really enjoyed his speech that he gave.
Uh, has anyone checked out? There's one I've been hearing a lot about. It's on my list, but so is everything else. So it's called The Platform. Have you
I've
checked that one
not
out?
Never heard
not
of it.
even heard of that.
It's I think it's in I want to say German. It's dubbed, English dubbed, but I heard it's really good. Um, sort of similar style of Snowpiercer, I guess.
Oh,
There's
that's
there's
cool.
hierarchies. It's this prison where everyone at the top eats, the best, and then whatever's left goes down to the next people, and so on and so forth. So the lower the tier that you're on, the worse your food is, and I guess there's some kind of revolution. I've been meaning to watch it. It sounds pretty good.
Is it all based around food?
I'm not sure. It's on Netflix. Like I said, it's
Check it out.
That's cool. That was a surprise movie. Catching it late at night or whatever. Snowpiercer. And, I mean, it's a while ago, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
haven't
oh
seen
my
that
god,
either. I heard that's actually a pretty good
it's
movie.
very
super
good.
good.
Well then, well then,
Worth a watch.
What's up?
might as well just add that to the list.
Sorry, guys. Brandon's writing down. He's got to spell it out. It's
Yeah, snow.
Snowpiercer. One
That's
word.
that's two O's and snow, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
You'll find it.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't even know what letters look like. I'm just like dragging them across a piece of paper. Um, there's that. I gotta start and I guess finish Lock and Key. Hopefully that's
Is
good.
that worth trying?
I like the comic. I didn't get super into it. I think I read like the first three volumes. So I wanted to just watch the show,
Mm-hmm.
but I have not started it yet.
Yeah, that's
It's
definitely a curious looky loo because I enjoyed the comic book too, but I just haven't gotten to the show for some reason.
I can't. I remember there were parts of the comic that were super dark, so I'm wondering. The trailers I saw for the show made it look pretty kid friendly, so I'm not
And
sure
there were
how.
some stories within that in the comic book that were like super happy, like a kid could totally read that, and others were like, oh my god, I would not put this anywhere near my kids.
Yeah, and the trailer kind of like to me made it look like a kid show, so I'm interested to see like what the overall tone of the show is.
Are there any shows that you're watching that you feel are underrated? Not enough people are watching.
Um, no, because I only get my suggestions from people who have watched the stuff. So, right now, no, I only watch mainstream shit apparently.
Nice.
You
I
whore.
know this is not, it's way past its prime, whatever, but my wife and I are finally catching up on The Walking Dead, and it's finally getting good again. Like,
Ugh.
there's was definitely the last season or two where we were just being completists and be like, we started this, we have to finish, we have to keep going. And this past season with Samantha Morton as Alpha, oh man, it's gotten pretty good with it. And then Negan does his thing, and you're like, okay, if you just made a show with Alpha and Negan, I think I would just be in heaven. This is
I
awesome.
I gave up at season 5. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
See, I that's the reason I haven't started again because I watched I think the first season and it was so different. Or I watched up until Shane died. When did that happen? Was that season
like
two,
season
season
one,
three?
maybe season two,
Season 2, I think.
Okay,
long
I
time
watched
ago.
till that and I just hated everything about that show. So I stopped and I thought about doing this, like trying to rewatch it, like with a different eye because I haven't read the comic in a long time and
Hmm.
uh, I know it's very different, and that's why I didn't like it. So I'm like, maybe with the comic not fresh in my head, maybe I'll like this differently. But with the completest thing that you have, that's the reason I don't want to watch it. Is because I'm like,
Yeah,
if I don't like it, but I get enough into it, I'm gonna end up finishing it, and
I'll
I
be
don't
honest.
want to waste all that time if I don't enjoy it.
I think it's better binging it and catching it all that way. Because when it's week to week and you're kind of left with a sour taste in your mouth, it's not good. But to me, that's what we've been doing, binging, and it's like, okay, yeah, it got good
I
again.
don't I
And
don't remember
again,
I don't remember the
Negan's awesome.
exact. Yeah, he was definitely one of the better parts of that. the later episodes. What turned me off though is I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I remember Carl being really upset that he didn't have a girlfriend or that he liked some girl. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with zombie? Like, it was just so soap opera, and
Yeah,
I
that's
couldn't do it anymore. I fucking hated it.
I don't want to I don't want to rip on him because Carl's still. I mean, I know he's older now, but I still remember him as the kid in the show. He was not a great actor, and it kind of brought the show down. But now that they're focusing on Rick's daughter, ass kicker, oh my God, she's a great little actress, and her storylines I think are just phenomenal. And I spoiler alert, I think it happened like 3 seasons ago. Carl's not in it anymore, and I
Um,
think from a producer
Yeah, I knew
standpoint,
that.
that really helped it. Really helped the story.
how far do they jump ahead to have her daughter, like to have his daughter, like be an actress?
You mean like
Like,
what? How old is she?
yeah.
I think she's maybe 10.
So they jump ahead a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely. Again, I don't remember Chase. You might have still been watching it because it was definitely when Negan was at his height. So it might have been like 2 or 3 seasons ago. They do a definite flash forward where they, I don't remember how many years, but they cover 2 or 3 years, and yeah, we've moved past this point without explaining anything.
That was another thing that through hearing about it in the comic, and I don't know, I kind of just enjoyed the comic because it was really dark at times and fucked up and this and that. So maybe I'll rewatch it with a different eye. But in the comic book, um, Lori and the daughter get killed during the prison
Hmm.
when the governor comes back.
Yeah,
The whole timeline's different, but I thought that was a really crazy choice. And then when it that's not how it played out, and the daughter, I don't know. I was just like, I wasn't digging
and
it.
that's I remember. God, this is how long the show's been going on. 'Cause I remember Bobby talking about the show and the comic, and I think of all the nerds, he was the most dedicated Walking Dead comic book guy, and he was unhappy with a bunch of the things that had
He was a
changed.
definite Kirkman fanboy, which
Yeah,
is fine. I like a lot of Robert Kirkman stuff.
yeah, and I was more of a just a loose fan, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. But I can also watch this without being dedicated to that. And I actually like a bunch of the changes, and I have not dedicated myself to reading the comic book. My wife actually has, so she knows more about than I do with what's changed and what's not. But I enjoyed it for what it was, and it finally finally got good again. So
Is it
yeah,
still real? It kind of came off as gimmicky to me. It was just who are we gonna kill this season? That was their
there's
entire
still those
premise.
moments that not so much in The Walking Dead this year. The Fear of the Walking Dead has done that a little bit more, where all of a sudden they put themselves in the dumbest situation where they're being attacked just to show more zombies, and it's like, oh my god, why would you do that? Why would you? Oh, come on, please. But The Walking Dead
Well,
has
I have
kind
a
of
show
veered
that
away from that, or actually, I guess made it more sense.
there's a
Do you have a
show
show
I've
with
been
that?
watching on Hulu called Devs, Devs.
Oh,
Excellent
I've
show.
seen promos for it. Yeah, it looks good.
It's from Alex Garland. He did Ex Machina and
Awesome.
he did Annihilation.
Don't understand. Don't like
That
it.
was the ad on the side of the hotel when we were at Comic Con.
Yep.
Got it.
It's written by him, directed by him. It's visually stunning. It's very intricate, very intelligent. I'm loving it though so far. It's got one more episode next week, and then you can binge the whole season. But I highly recommend it.
That's cool.
I'll probably wait for that binge. Get right
And
through it then.
it's got Ron Swanson in it. You can't go wrong.
Oh, I love Nick Offerman so much.
Watching Homeland. You guys ever watch that show?
I have not.
Yes, that's one of those ones where we were doing it, and somehow we didn't have showtime, so I don't remember where we left off.
It's in its final season right now. I've always loved that show. It's really good.
That
And
cast is like I love Mandy Patinkin. He is so
oh,
amazing.
he's so good in it. He's so good.
Yeah, he is so good, and I think the reason I love him is just The Princess Bride, and he really doesn't do those sort of things anymore. So, but he still has that little weirdo sense of humor in this movie about terror or a TV show about terrorists. You're like, huh, that's interesting.
One of the reasons I'm such a Tarantino fan is that he's very fearless and
Mm-hmm.
he does what he wants with his characters, and that's one of the things I feel like they do with Homeland. There was the original premise was that this American soldier comes home and they suspect him of being a terrorist. Well, not to spoil anything, but he gets killed off in one of the seasons, early seasons.
Yeah, I think it was like season 3,
It was season
maybe
3. I
2.
didn't want to ruin anything, but it's not it made it very clear it wasn't about him. It was about her.
No, and that's what was impressive is like Clara Danes. That's another person from like the '90s where she was growing up in My So-Called Life, whatever that show was. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
cool. And now she's like carrying a big time show with some heavy duty stuff, and you're like, wow, she's really good. And
I
it
just
is. It's focused on her.
I love those brave decisions. It's
Mm.
they
What is it
know
on
it's
right
gonna
now?
Showtime.
Oh, so you have to have Showtime to watch it?
Yeah,
Well,
Or
then
find ways around that.
I guess I won't do that. I will find a legal way to watch the show.
Fire Stick.
I will find a legal way to do this and watch the show.
Good call, Brandon. It's only
Thank
illegal if you get caught.
I have nothing to catch me doing besides legally watching a TV show.
I agree.
I do want to tell you though, like I know, like you were saying about Mandy Patinkin
Hmm.
doing all like the serious stuff or whatever, and I know who you were talking about, but I looked up the person I was thinking of, and in my brain for some reason I put Wallace Shawn in, and
Inconceivable.
I would love
Oh,
to see him in a serious show about domestic terrorism. Like, I don't know why, but like that's who I thought of when you said it.
he's got
I
to
would,
be the hitman though. He's got to be the hitman.
I
Oh my
would
god,
just,
that would be
I would
hilarious.
fucking love to see that happen now. Like I can't. It's the first thing that popped in my head, and I had to mute
For
my
people don't
microphone.
understand or don't know, he's the voice of the dinosaur in Toy Story, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. So this like overly paranoid sort of yeah,
Like,
that'd be hilarious.
same, not even just same, yeah, like same attitude, but just like in that setting.
That's awesome.
I don't know
That's a
why.
heck of a mix up because
Oh man,
I can't think of any role. Not that Mandy Patinkin couldn't do it, but I can't think of any role that where those two could literally just be interchanged. You'd be like, yeah, yeah, casting call, either or doesn't matter. We need one or the other. They're both perfect.
whichever one raises their hand first, you got
Yeah,
it.
that's
Whoever
awesome.
shows up on day one, you can be in the you can be in the movie, the TV show. I don't know why I thought of that, but I just fucking I was laughing so hard I had to mute my microphone.
Classic.
All right, so that's a lot of TV shows. What movies you gotten into?
I did the horror ones, like I said. I want to watch Invisible Man. I started watching the second Lego movie because I got through that like halfway on a plane, and they didn't have a way to watch it. And it's on HBO, so I was like, got to finish the Lego movie, the second one. I'm, I don't know. I like those movies. They're fun. Lego Masters is a really good show right now too on
That's
Fox.
what I've heard. I really liked the
There's
Lego
been
movies.
there's
Yeah.
been like 2 or 3 episodes where somebody has a serious catastrophe with their
Oh,
build. Is
it's
that
so.
not heartbreaking?
Oh, I felt so bad every time they drop these things. I'm like, no. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because it's not like a cooking show where it's like, oh no, this is a little underdone. I have to like get it there. Oh, the whipped cream's not right. I'll do it. Like it's like, no, your fucking whole build just fell. You can't just like,
Well, not every you don't have to be a baker to know what that feels like. Everyone played with Legos.
yeah.
Everyone had
It's
that moment where you drop it.
And it's just like, no, what the fuck? Yeah.
Well, you
So
guys probably won't be
I
surprised by this, but my movies include such titles as Spies in Disguise,
Oh,
Jumanji, the whatever the new one is, which is actually
I like those. I like those.
so good. The Rock portraying Danny DeVito is one of the funniest things.
Is
I
that who?
love
Is that who got mixed up? It's Danny DeVito and The Rock.
Yeah,
Oh hell yeah!
but not the whole time. I
everybody
can't
kind
totally
of
give it
gets
away, but yeah.
their chance to play Danny DeVito, which is
And
really funny.
I believe Kevin Hart as where he's channeling Danny Glover, and you're like, oh my god! And it's I think if I can remember correctly, it's Chris Rock, geez, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as Danny DeVito with Kevin Hart as Danny Glover, going like talking in that speech pattern, and you're like, I'm confused. This is hilarious. And then you have Jack Black doing his own thing,
What's
where
Jumanji?
oh my god. Have you seen it, Brandon?
I saw the first one, which I did enjoy a
This one
lot more
is
than I thought
I
I
actually
would. So I
yeah,
actually would be down to watch this.
it's really really good. And I think the only character that kind of stays the same character throughout is Nebula. What's her name? Karen Gillan.
Yeah,
She's
Okay.
she's who she was in the first movie.
Fridge becomes her for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's hilarious too.
I think
It's
though
good. It's
of all the people who got to do a DeVito impression, I think Aquafina was the best. The Asian
I
girl.
totally forgot she was even in it. But yeah, that was
When she
hilarious.
becomes DeVito, oh my god, that was my favorite one.
All right, I gotta. I guess I gotta watch this.
Yeah, it's so good.
They're a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah,
Well, then
it's
in that
like
case, I
the
got
first one
that.
is like iconic because Robin Williams, but these two, I totally was like, you can't do that. You can't make it. No, because he's not around anymore. And then you watch, you're like, holy crap, they totally honor the original, and even more so
Yeah,
this one, it ties back to the original. And you're like, okay,
I thought they were
awesome.
going
Yeah,
to shit on the first one, but they honored it, they acknowledged it, but they also said, "Hey, this is a different thing," you know.
yeah, completely.
Honestly, had he not passed away, they probably would have shit all over the first one.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
I actually like. I enjoy that they didn't shit on it though. You know what I mean? Like I like that
Hmm.
they decided to be cool about it.
Well, just that they didn't tarnish the legacy of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
I will say that's one thing I kind of miss about the original is it was a much darker movie. The original with
Yeah,
Robin Williams. These are definitely more comedy than that one was.
Some of that shit was so fucking funny. Like some of the shit in the newest or the first new one,
Oh, Jack
the new
Black as
one
a
even.
teenage girl is
Oh my
fucking
god,
gold.
that was amazing. And like how he had to teach her to be hot, and she walks up all awkwardly. Like that was one of my favorite scenes. Like
I like when they're teaching her how to pee, and she's like, "Hey, I got a penis. Come look at it."
yeah,
And you just hear Jillian off camera. No,
no, yeah, she's like, no. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Like
he's
that was
so
really,
talented.
really, really well done.
Yeah,
let's see what else. Just kind of jumping through my collection right now of movies. Uh, just trying to think about what I've watched. It's hard to.
Um, I don't know. I was gonna say I'll add Jumanji to my list. I got Invisible Man, and I got my Star Wars thing to finish. So that's where I'm. Actually, you know what's on my list too is Trolls 2, and that's because one of the podcasts I listen to, the three brothers petitioned to get into the movie, and they did, and they're all voices in the movie. So now I feel have to like I have to do watch that now. But yeah, that'll be my weekend until the next time we talk.
Cool. Uh, Trying to think what else. Not much else going on, honestly.
Well, we can just end it there, guys. We'll just say thank you for listening. I hope this maybe took some time out of your day and focus on other stuff to hear us awkwardly talk about the things we're doing. Um, maybe we'll do a part two of what we've done in the last week. Maybe something else get your guys' mind off of this. But thank you very much for listening. We hope everybody's staying safe. and I'll get through this eventually, and just take a deep breath. We're all going to be good. Make sure to check us out on all the social medias. And until next time, you guys have a very nerdy week.
See you guys.